Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So here we are, we're back in London, and today I'm going to be interviewing another exciting entrepreneur who has built a business around trademarking and protection, because look, this is something we don't really talk about, protecting our brand and logo. And guess what? They've recently partnered with Lord Sugar, so let's get into it. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So I welcome another incredible guest, but before we dive into it, I'd just like to say a big thank you to today's sponsor, and that is Casita Properties, the UK leading company when it comes to off-market discreet buy-to-let sales. Again, all of their information will be in the description below. I welcome Oliver Oguz of TradeMark Wizard, partner to Lord Sugar. Oliver, it's a pleasure to have you here, mate.
Thanks for having me. Pleasure to be on your podcast.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's great to have you here, and there's going to be, I think you're going to bring a lot of value, because we're going to, you have a business set up, you're now partnered with Lord Sugar, but we're going to tap into the inner workings of what actually goes on behind the scenes, and also the importance, of course, of trademarking your business, logo branding, etc. So, if you could, just a 30,000 foot overview of actually what you do and who your company is.
So my company is called TradeMark Wizards, and we're a firm of chartered trademark attorneys, so kind of like a regulated law firm. And what we do, we protect people's intellectual property rights, but we specialize in trademarks. Right. So we'll search to see if your brand's available, we'll file the application, we'll get it registered in the UK, all over the world, and if there's a problem, we'll sort it out for you. If someone's using your brand without your permission, we will enforce it, or if someone tries to sue you for doing something naughty, we'll defend you.
Well, it's very interesting, because I think, and the reason I wanted to bring this up and offer it as an avenue to learn on my channel is that many people are quick to start businesses. COVID obviously created a lot more businesses, new brands, new logos. Everyone, I suppose it sped up technology in regards to online businesses, but how many people left behind the trademark of that business? And again, we were just talking off camera about, you don't want another company to be representing the same name as yours, and perhaps you get brought into something. So, you know, on a scale of 1 to 10, I mean, how important is it to trademark your business?
11. I mean, your brand is probably, apart from yourself, your most important asset. So when you when you sell your brand, when you sell your business, what are people buying? They're buying your brand, and if you don't have it protected, then what are you selling? Yeah. And also, if you don't protect your brand, people can use it without your permission. Yeah. And there can be confusion in the marketplace. People can take unfair advantage of your reputation, and your brand can just get tarnished like that. Yeah. So you need to protect it, so you can stop other people using it or something similar without your permission. Yeah,
I mean, it couldn't have come at a better time, because, you know, for me, I've started a new logo with the podcast. Yeah. I know many people who have just launched businesses, but I suppose we're a little bit unaware of where do we actually go to find this information. So if the viewers are thinking, okay, I better check this out, I better check if I need to get trademarked, you know, protected, what are the first few steps that someone can do to put those things in motion?
The first thing you need to do is a search. Okay, so I mean, if you haven't started your brand yet and you're thinking of a name, the first thing you need to do before you even invest in a logo or a graphic designer is just search to see if it's available, because someone might have it already. And then if you invest in the launch of the brand and it jumps on someone's radar, you'll get sued. Right. So, and if you already have a business, then it should have been done yesterday. Yeah. You still need to do a search to make sure you know what's out there, because as soon as you file that application, people might start challenging you anyway.
Okay, so do we need to be looking at trademark if we are sole traders or we're just running a brand, or do we need to trademark if we are a limited company? Is there a difference between the two? Say someone's watching this, they're between 18 and 25 and they've just started a brand on Instagram. Do they need to protect that brand, or is it just for limited companies?
No, so I mean, the company or the sole trader, that's, I guess, just the tax vehicle. That's how you pay your taxes, and how you send your invoices out. But what you're talking about is ownership. At the end of the day, you have a brand. If you have a limited company, then the company can own it as an asset, or you can own it yourself, and you can give the company a license to use the brand, but it has to be protected, and it has to be owned by either a person or the company. If you own it in the name of, if it's in the name of the company, then you have to be careful, because if something happens to that company, and the, God forbid, basically, then the trademark will form part of the assets that can obviously, be part of a liquidation or something like that.
So you wouldn't be able to relaunch that same brand, essentially, if it did get pulled into the liquidation. You can't then re-spark that same brand.
You can, but you just won't own it. You'd have to buy it from the liquidators, basically. But if you owned it in your personal name, then if that company went into liquidation, then I guess the license would just terminate, and you'd still own the trademark. So yeah, but I mean, if you've got partners in a business, then everyone would probably expect the trademark to be owned by the company, because it would be a company asset.
Okay, so stepping back, then how do we find credible trademark businesses like yourself? And what we are going to do, include all your links in the description below. Yeah. So go check Oliver out. But how do we, if we want to do our own due diligence and find a company like yourself and think, okay, they're the ones that are going to look after me and my brand, what kind of checks should someone be doing?
I think there are a lot of trademarking companies out there, let's say, but you might want to find someone who's regulated. So you can go to the Chartered Institute of Trademark Attorneys, CITMA, or you can go to IP Reg, who are the regulators, and they'll give you a list of trademark attorneys. And then I guess it just depends on whether you like the firm, you like the service. Everyone works differently, and I think when you do want to do those checks, it's always good to have a friendly trademark attorney that will just do a quick check for you and let you know if there's something high risk out there, and then you might have to pay a bit more if you want a really, really sort of thorough, comprehensive search. But I guess these searches can be done within a minute, basically. Yeah.
I think also it depends on, if you're serious about building your brand and your business, then you're gonna pay, if you need to pay, then you're going to pay serious money or reasonable money to make sure that your brand that you're building is going to be secure throughout. So I think one thing that screams credibility for yourself and Trademark Wizard is that if you're backed by Lord Sugar, which you are, so congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Is that offers a lot of credibility. So to see partnerships like that form, you can really sort of sit here and think, okay, Oliver's the guy that I need to go to. So, touching on that, what is it like now to be partnered with Lord Sugar and achieve that? Because that's a huge achievement for you.
Thank you. I mean, Lord Sugar, he's actually been a client of mine for, the firms that I've worked at for over 10 years. And so I've always dealt with trademark issues for his company. So we've always had some exchanges, and I've seen the way that he negotiates, when there's problems, and that was something that I really admired. And I guess now to have him as a business partner is amazing, because I can learn so much from him, and he just brings in, like you say, he brings in credibility into the business, I guess, and trust. I guess it kind of does validate our reputation, which is really good.
So why did he choose you? I mean, I can sit here and, we've known each other now for a short little while. Is that I can already tell your stuff. You obviously come from a position of credibility. It sounds like this business is thriving in your industry. But put that aside, why did he choose to invest with you? What was it that sort of made him go, okay, Oliver, let's do it?
I'm not sure actually. I think over the years, I guess he's probably just taken a bit of a shine to me. I hope. And when I had a really difficult time a few years ago because I had to move office and set up by myself. Really, really difficult time for business during COVID as well. But Lord Sugar actually moved all of his trademark work to my new company when I moved. So that was a big boost for me. And in that year, we became the UK's #1 trademark filing company. And I just remember I used to sleep in my office sometimes, and I remember on New Year's Day, I must have had a few glasses of whatever I was drinking, and it was 12 o'clock, and I was saying to my other business partner, Keish, I said, I want to email Lord Sugar and just say thank you, obviously for keeping the work with us and motivating us and stuff like that. And I remember Keish saying, listen mate, he'll just think you're a weirdo. And then so I emailed him anyway, and he emailed me back. I said, look, thanks Lord Sugar, we've become #1, and I'm going to look for some guidance from you. You've really helped me unknowingly as well, just by sort of keeping your work with us and giving us the responsibility. And then in the next few days, someone from his team came down to our office and we sat down and we sort of discussed doing a deal where we can collaborate and Lord Sugar can be on board and we can, be part of his portfolio of companies. So
it's amazing.
It's pretty amazing. Yeah.
I think there's some really good takeaways from. I like people like yourself, Oliver, because you obviously are very humble. The likability factor's there, and for a lot of people, they think to work and partner with these ultra rich individuals, you need to be of a certain cloth, certain background. You need this, and you really don't. I think you've shown, and for anyone watching, I want this to sort of almost inspire them to actually. You can be anyone, you can be humble, and actually you can get given opportunity and also hard work. You said it, you were sleeping in the office, and this is this is the thing I mentioned on another podcast, is that when you want to get to a stage where you don't have to look at the price tag, is when you don't, when you're at the stage you don't have to look at the clock of what you're working, so hard work has clearly paid off. So a massive congrats.
Thank you.
What I want to touch on is more your entrepreneurship, and then look, for the viewers, stick around because we're actually going to talk about the metaverse and how you can protect yourself, and there's no advice or anything like that, but we're just going to touch on it.
I'll give it a go.
But the entrepreneurship in yourself, that spark, when did that happen? Did that happen early on?
I think my my dad, you were saying when we were talking about pronouncing my surname, he's Turkish, so when he came over to the UK, he just done the Turkish thing and opened a kebab shop, basically. And I just remember having to work there when I was 11, and I was always thinking of new ways of trying to make money. So, getting a ice cream kiosk outside and stuff like that. Never made any money off it because I just used to give ice creams away to girls for free, basically. But yeah, I've always had that in me, and I guess along the way, my main business before was nightclubs and bars. So I used to have my own club and bar and little bits on the side. It's just in me, basically.
It's that feeling of not being able to sit still, isn't it? I think we all get it. You sit there at school and you think, I can't be bothered. Or some people who do build businesses, obviously, do very well at informal education, but certainly for someone like myself, I sat there and I just thought, God, I just can't be bothered, or it's not for me. And certainly, just from my sort of side is, one thing that's been, I suppose, something against me was like, I'm covered in tattoos, and that can be a judgment instantly. But I think the world is changing, regardless of your background, as long as you get up, you do it, you pull the trigger, and you can achieve things. So amazing insights. Thanks, Oliver. So the metaverse, we're just going to touch on this. We're going to it's going to be broad, but the metaverse is going to come into play. And for those of you that don't know what the metaverse is, it's an online digital world where essentially gaming, business, everything can be done. You know, you can buy assets online. If someone were to start a business in the metaverse, do you think we're still going to have to take protection just as seriously as in the real world?
I think the metaverse is a place where you can buy goods and services. So in that respect, brands should really be thinking about that when they are protecting themselves, or when they're sort of embarking on trademark filing projects. But existing protection for your brand can, your existing legal rights could still be enforced if there was an infringement with someone using it on the in the metaverse, on the metaverse. But a lot of companies now are considering the metaverse when they're actually drafting their specification of goods and services.
Right.
So when they're protecting their clothing brand, for example, they would protect clothing, but they'd also protect downloadable virtual products as well. So that's where we are at the moment. But I mean, I guess if someone uses a brand on the metaverse without the brand owner's permission, then who are you going to sue? Are you suing an avatar? Are you suing the person behind the computer? There's so much stuff that's probably about to emanate in terms of case law and litigation from it. It's just to kind of watch this space topic.
There's a lot of speculation, I suppose, really. Like, no one knows, but I do think if you are starting a business and you're foreseeing that you're going to be involved in the metaverse, I do think it's something that you need to check out, especially as, NFTs, you have the rights to NFTs. I think the metaverse brings an interesting aspect to it because you already see now, if the big companies, this is just what I use as a guideline, big companies now are already protecting their digital brands. So, I think that it's worth taking note that if we are going to transition over these next 5-10 years, the question is, who do we go to for protection? Is companies like yourself evolving and thinking, okay, can we protect digital assets?
Well, on the way here in the cab, I was thinking I need to have a metaverse package. Basically, I was thinking about it. But yeah, you should. You can go to a trademark attorney, and they will advise you on protecting the brand. Well, they would advise you as normal on how to protect your brand, but they would just probably include in your specification terms relating to sort of downloadable virtual digital products and services. I think the main issue, one of the main issues would be jurisdiction, because trademarks or intellectual property are territorial rights. So if you have a UK trademark, you can enforce it if someone uses it in the UK without your permission, but you can't enforce it if someone uses it in the US without your permission, unless you've got a US trademark. So it depends. The metaverse is an unregulated place. So if I have a UK trademark, can I use that to enforce against someone in the metaverse? Are they going to have their own trademark court and trademark system?
More than likely. Yeah. I mean, I think it's crazy that there's some guy I think I saw in America that's selling parts of the moon, and he doesn't even own the moon, but somehow he's able to sell parts of the moon. So it's all opportunity. It's all speculative. But I think it comes down to research and just being prepared to make change. And I think, again, it comes back to COVID. It made technology advance very quick. It almost sped up time in regards to how we have to advance. So as we sort of come to finalise, I want to touch in education and network. So one, how important has your entrepreneurial journey been to own a business and partner with Lord Sugar? How important has education been, and also your network to this day?
I think in terms of the entrepreneurial stuff, I don't think that's come from education. It's just something that is ingrained in me, I guess. I've always sort of been a sort of bit of a wheeler and dealer, if you like. And the education, I guess, because it's a law firm that we run, education is important in terms of having to qualify and stuff like that. But in business in general, if you don't work in a regulated industry, you know, the most, in terms of my clients, probably the most successful ones haven't been to uni, to be honest. They've just been grafting hard, and you know, they've built amazing businesses. I think in my industry, education is important because the law keeps changing all the time. So you need to keep on top of stuff. And obviously, being a lawyer, I guess sort of people look at your education in terms of, you know, making a decision as to whether they're going to go with you or somebody else. So, and I guess as a head of a firm as well, I've got other lawyers to train. So I need to make sure I'm on top of that. But I guess in terms of the network and how important that is, I guess very important. Networking, I've always believed, I've been a firm believer in networking. Some people don't, but I do. I'm always up for going out and meeting new people and building relationships, and you never know where conversations go at the end of the day. I wouldn't have met Lord Sugar if it wasn't, you know, for networking. I wouldn't have got my first job if this person didn't introduce me to this person that introduced me to, you know, that firm that gave me the job, which is where I met Lord Sugar's right-hand man, who introduced me to Lord Sugar.
It's so key, isn't it? You know, I'm so big on my network and connecting with people, and also I think the thing is not to close the door, you know, because when you close the door, you don't know if that individual comes back into your life 6 months later. I think it's, you know, so important you get yourself out there, meet new people, be open to opportunity. You know, just as we sort of finalise, Oliver, you know, where can people reach out and connect with you if they want to get in touch?
You can call me on my phone, but you can. Our website is www.trademarkwizards.co.uk. You can just send an email in there. My email address is Oliver. So as soon as you send an email in there, just let us know what you want. We've got a really amazing and friendly team, and we're there to help businesses protect themselves. And if you, like what you were saying, if you want this due diligence done, just email us, and we don't even charge for it anyway. One of our USPs will give you comprehensive advice. We'll let you know what classes you need in your trademark. We'll do a search to see if there's something that conflicts out there, and if there is, you know, we'll advise you on it. We'll do it in the UK and globally. We've got the software there, and we'll tell you if your trademark's registrable, and that's it. You can take that information, and if you don't want to use us, then no hard feelings. We've made a friend. So
absolutely.
It's fine.
Well, I'm going to include all your links in the description below. I think we've learned, and especially for me, is that, you know, even if you're creating new brands, new businesses, that it is really important that you protect yourself. So that should be a massive takeaway for everyone watching. And for everyone who has watched so far, I'd like to say thank you, and we will see you all very soon.